Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. And today is Wellness Wednesday, and this particular segment is kind of evolving as time goes on. It started out as like a keto carnivore, very targeted weight loss type thing, and then I was diagnosed with SIBO and finally got the treatments and things like that, and we just finished treatment for SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and now it's kind of more focused on gut healing, gut health, figuring out what path is best for me personally to take, and I'm kind of sharing the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs and the lessons and that, all that sort of thing with you guys. This week was, it wasn't the most event-filled week, but I did get to go and see my doctor for the first time following my antibiotic course of treatments. And she had prescribed me a couple of different things that she wanted me to take, and it was a Saccharomyces and Saccharomyces boulardii and Lactobacillus GG-RR. I can't remember. Oh, the strain of Lactobacillus. And so those ones I've been taking once or twice daily, depending on what they are, and we'll just kind of see how things go. I had asked her in the meeting, or I asked her in the appointment when I was able to start to actually reintroduce fermented foods, and she said that I could do it whenever I wanted, but ultimately it's just a matter of trying things out and see how my body reacts to it. And she recommended that I wait about a week after starting to take these probiotics, and she said to wait like a week so I could see kind of how my body reacts to the probiotics, so I'm not introducing a bunch of things at the same time. Makes total sense. So that's my plan. Probably this coming weekend I'm going to start to kind of slowly introduce fermented foods, because if I have a reaction or if I have an issue with them, I'd rather be on my own time and not have to try and muscle through work, you know what I'm saying? So I figure I'll give those a try at home, very small amounts, and then probably end up starting out with milk kefir. I think that one would be the one. Number one, I have it on hand, so it's really easy to try that one first. And I could also do sauerkraut. But another thing that I have to take into consideration is how I'm eating. It's very important. I can't eat the way that I used to, because that has gotten me to where I am currently. So one of the things that I found that was extremely interesting when I was doing research on SIBO, I guess is more advice, I don't know if it necessarily is backed by research, but it made complete and absolute sense to me. And I wish I could remember the source where I got this from, but it was a video that I was watching. I wish I could remember it, but I can't. And basically what they were saying in the video was that the things that you really enjoyed eating before and the things that you ate a lot of before you got SIBO are likely the things that you want to avoid once you have SIBO. And the reasoning behind that is that the bacteria in your body, the bacteria that is in your gut, has evolved to enjoy and crave. Basically, you've nurtured the bacteria in your body with the food that you've consumed. And if you have an overgrowth of a certain bacteria, it is very likely that bacteria enjoys the food that you ate. That's why it's got an overgrowth. And that may not necessarily be the reason why you developed SIBO, but it still is what the specific bacteria in your body crave. And that's why when you're doing SIBO, oftentimes, like, most people are going to react to certain foods, but some people react to foods that are completely random. And I think that's why. It's because that is simply that is simply the bacteria that you've nurtured within your gut. And so for me, I tend to react very heavily to cabbage. And I think it's because I really love cabbage, and I've eaten a lot of cabbage over the years. That's my favorite vegetable, and it's my favorite ferment, it's my favorite everything. And I have issues with it. It's certainly not in the raw form. I haven't tried it cooked yet, and that's my plan. I also have not tried it fermented, but I have a 5-gallon crock that's filled with probably about 3.5 gallons of sauerkraut, and I have another 2 gallons of sauerkraut in my fridge. Sorry, I got a phone call and I don't remember exactly where I was, but I think I was just basically talking to you guys and about the things that you eat will determine what bacteria that you have in your gut. Not just the fermented foods that you consume. You can steer that ship a little bit better with targeted fermented foods, but ultimately the food that you consume is going to determine the strength of the various types and strains of bacteria that you have in your body. So you can control it. It may take a while. It depends on the bacterial load in your gut is basically like how big your ship is in your gut. I know it's a terrible analogy, but like a big ship is hard to turn. And so if you have a really big overgrowth of bacteria in your body, it's going to take a while to get it to go in the direction that you want it to go. If you don't have an overgrowth, it's a lot easier to change over your gut microbiome. It's a lot easier to shift it and make changes and targeted changes and see immediate results. But if you have a big overgrowth like I do, it can take a while to actually see the results that you want to see. Basically, my kind of thing is that I need to make sure that I'm avoiding a lot of the foods that I enjoyed before. And I need to make sure that over the next little while that I'm really paying attention to how my body reacts to certain things. And the way that my body reacts to certain things is gut pain. It is gut pain. It is inflammation, it is bloating, and everything that goes along with the bloating, all of those sorts of things. That's kind of my body's clue as to how my body likes it. And that's how I discovered that cabbage is one of those things that my body is just not a fan of right now. But my doctor did tell me that I should make sure to try these foods cooked. I had them in a coleslaw, and that was how, and it happened a couple different times. So I was like, okay, this has got to be what it is. And it could also be the ingredients that were in the coleslaw, but I don't want to find out. It hurt. So I'm going to try it cooked. And I actually do have a video that I need to make coming up here. And I'm going to be making a chicken. It's like going to be like a pantry meal type thing, and it's going to be with chicken and some cooked cabbage and just kind of making like a stir fry from canned foods. So that should be really fun and really interesting. I'm looking forward to making that one. So I'll be able to kind of test that out, and that should probably be this coming weekend. I'm going to make the video this coming weekend, but it's actually going to go out next Saturday. So I'll be able to try that one out. And so basically it's just going to be the slow kind of, I don't want to call it intuitive eating, because that's not what it is. Like I'm definitely starting to kind of shift over, not away from keto or low carb, but I think right now in my life, I need to not be stressing about that, and I need to not be thinking about that. I think what I need to do is to figure out what my body likes after treatment of SIBO, because it's very, very different. It's reacting very differently to a lot of different foods. And so I've decided that I'm kind of going to go a little bit more on the calorie counting side, not like crazy, but I just need to refocus and not even refocus. I need to get a better handle on portion sizes and get a better handle on a lot of those sorts of things, how my body reacts to things, but also just portion sizes and different foods that I enjoy, basically. And I think if I'm counting calories, like I will have that just kind of not like, I'm not talking like 1,000 calories or anything, but cutting it short, maybe 200-300 calories from maintenance, something like that, to where I'm slowly kind of losing weight, but I'm not making myself be like super deprived or anything like that. So that's kind of my game plan. So the two of the books that I am kind of using for at least the SIBO portion of my healing and my weight loss, it's really, right now it's more just healing. If weight loss comes, awesome. I would love it if it did, and that's also why I'm going to be doing the calorie counting, because I'd like to have both. But my main focus is definitely healing SIBO, so that I can move along and move on with my life, basically, and be able to consume the foods that I want to consume in moderation and not have all of these issues. So these books, this is much more of a recipe book, and it also has a tremendous amount of information. This is more of like a reading type of book. I'll link both of these down below if you guys are interested, but these are great books, great reference books. And then another book that I'm reading, actually with some friends of mine, we're doing a book club over on Freedom Homestead, and that is this book here, Beyond Labels. This book it's an interesting book. It's basically a conversation that these two had, Sina McCullough and Joel Salatin, and it's basically a conversation they had, and they decided to actually put it in book form, and they put it in book form in their conversational form. Like you can see You got the J's and the S's, and you can see who's talking. And they basically transcribed a podcast that they did together, or multiple podcasts, I'm not sure. So basically, we've done chapter 1 and 2. We did that last week. And then when you see this video today, we're going to be working on chapter 3. It's a very short chapter, and it's basically about setting yourself up for success. The idea behind the book basically is kind of breaking your mindset of a lot of the different diet type things and focusing more on health. And that's where I am, and that's where I need to be right now. So this book actually came at a really perfect time, and I'm excited. So anyways, with the book club, we're reading it every week. We're reading a certain amount every week, and then we're going on a live stream. My time, 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and then so 12 Eastern, I think 11 Central, so what's it, 10 Mountain? I don't know. But we're going on to Tangi's channel, and we're talking about it for an hour, and it's a live stream with a live chat below, so we can interact with everybody. And we've done it one time, and I'm really looking forward to it again today. Should be really exciting. So make sure that you guys check that one out. I will link these 3 books down below for you guys, so you can check them out if you so should desire. But I wanted to also share with you a couple things that I forgot to mention earlier. Some things that I had kind of just forgotten about when I was talking. And I think it was when I got interrupted by my phone call. So hopefully it'll come back to me. What was it? Oh, right. It was basically frustration that I feel, and others that I know as well, that we kind of touch on this subject often, and that is the frustration of like our mind wanting to do one thing, but just like having almost this inner drive to do another thing. Like, I want to be able to only have this certain portion of something. I want to be able to open a bag of chips and weigh it out and just have the certain portion and be done with it, not think about it. It's basically the difference between a person who's a moderator and a person who is an abstainer. My mindset is more towards abstaining, and my husband is a moderator. If he feels very deprived, if he cannot have anything, and I feel fine if I don't have anything, but I feel deprived if I have one thing, and I just, my mind is just like, no, eat all of it, eat the whole thing. And that's the difference kind of between the two mindsets. He has to have some, or he feels deprived. I have to have none, or I feel deprived. It's a strange mindset, and I've been doing a lot of reflecting on that and thinking about it. I was like, man, wish I could be a moderator. Like, I wish I could just have this certain portion of something and be done with it. And in my research and things that I've been doing for my fermentation kind of 101 course, and reflecting on everything that I've been reading with that, I kind of came to the conclusion that it comes down to your gut microbiome. I think it's 100% your gut microbiome. I don't think it's your brain at all. And my reasoning behind that is that when they're doing like this studies and things like that, and they're discovering what all the different things are in your body and the connection between your mind and your gut, there's a massive connection. And basically the gut is being referred to as the second brain. But with the gut-brain connection in general is connected through, I'm sure there's other paths as well, but it's connected predominantly through the vagus nerve. And that is where information travels both directions, from your gut to your brain. You know, it's just constantly sending signals. However, basically it's where your gut is sending 90% of the information to your brain, and only 10% is going the other direction. So when somebody who's an abstainer eats something that ignites the bacteria within their body, like say if you really like chocolate chip cookies, and you buy a package of chocolate chip cookies, right? You're fine if you don't open that package. You have no issues with it. It can be on the counter. You can stare at it all day long. That's how I am. I can stare at it all day long and have no issue whatsoever. No cravings for it, no nothing. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I have opened that package and have one cookie, two options have to take place. I will finish the package, or I will throw it in the garbage. The middle does not exist. It just doesn't exist. And so I've discovered that I believe the reason for that is that when I consume that cookie, I've ignited the bacteria within my body, and it's like, feed me, feed me, feed me, give me more. It's like my brain is like, no, stop it. You don't want that. But then my gut microbiome is and I got my 10% trying to fight against the 90%, and that's why, generally speaking, the 90% wins. So I've kind of discovered that in order to change myself from somebody who has to be an abstainer over to somebody who wants to be a moderator, I have to fix my gut. And that's why I've really shifted my focus. Instead of fighting this uphill battle against myself constantly, I'm like, okay, take a step back, stop obsessing over, keto and weight loss and all those sorts of things, and really do what you want to do, and that is focus on your health. Heal your gut, like really heal your gut. And I think that will really heal my mindset as well. So that's kind of a revelation that I've had this week. I feel like it's a pretty big one. I think it has a lot of implications to it. And over the next little while, we'll kind of put it to the test. But that doesn't mean that just because I've figured it out, all of a sudden I can figure out how to be a moderator. No, I need to fix myself. I need to fix my body. I need to fix and heal the SIBO to the best of my body's ability. And I may never get to the point of being a moderator, but at least I know what the cause is, and I feel much less frustrated by it. Like, I feel much less like, I guess technically speaking, it is my fault that I'm the way that I am, but I feel much more, I don't even feel more in control. I just feel more at peace with the way that I am, knowing that, like, it's not like some, like, brain malfunction. Like, there's a biochemical, biological reason for why my brain is that way. It's not my brain, it's my gut. So if I heal my gut, I can at least take more steps towards becoming a moderator. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with my husband, he doesn't have any gut issues whatsoever. None. 0 issues, 0 pain. Gets immediate biofeedback for when he eats. He instantly, like, he can feel his muscles getting charged, literally, like he can feel the sugars going into his muscles. Like, he has an amazing, perfect digestive system. And that's kind of, I've been able to have this comparison back and forth over the years. I'm like, man, my body is so messed up. Why is your body like that? Why is it so perfect? It makes no sense. And so I've kind of almost had this, I don't know what you'd call it, but a very easy comparison over the years that I've been able to kind of compare the two of us side by side. Like, why is he like this? Why am I like that? And I think that this is definitely something that, I don't know, it just makes me feel more at peace. Like, more like I do have control over it. Like, I can change it. I guess maybe that's kind of the peace that I feel with this, is that I don't feel helpless and hopeless anymore with it. Like, I feel like there is a path and I can fix this. So I hope that you guys found some benefit with this. It's not been a week of like dramatic results and like amazing like transformations, and I think the next several weeks won't be, but it's just going to be me kind of doing research, looking into things, experimenting with myself, and just kind of sharing that with you guys. I hope that you guys are interested in that sort of thing. As always, let me know if you have no interest in this and I can just keep this all to myself. But I find it fascinating, and it's something I've never seen anybody else talk about, or at least make that connection. So I figured I would share that with you. But if you guys, I'm gonna quit yammering. I'm sure this video is plenty long. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. It helps with all the googly algorithmic kind of stuff. And if you're new around here and if you're interested in this kind of content, as well as a bunch of other, I do a lot of fermenting videos, freezing, dehydrating, fermenting, cooking, all of those sorts of things. Most of my content is in the kitchen. Make sure you hit this subscribe button right here. Up here is a video that Mr. Google Pants thinks you're gonna enjoy. This is my last Wellness Wednesday video, and then this is my Wellness Wednesday playlist. Make sure you check it out for all of the fun things. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.